Looks like we have a good group. I'm sure we'll see some folks trickle in as we get started here, but I want to kick off our webinar. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening again to those who joined after I started speaking originally. My name's Mike Droll, and I'm an Assistant Director of Admissions here at Simon Business School that works primarily with our business analytics folks. I want to thank you all for joining our information session today on our business analytics program. We are going to get started right now. I'd like to start with our agenda so you know what we're going to go over. We're going to give a very high-level overview of our business analytics program today. I have a number of members of our team in our offices here at Simon. They're going to speak to you regarding our curriculum in the business analytics program, our student experience here at Simon, the multiple career adventures that you might take as you are exploring your early journey here. And then we'll have a Q&A, question and answer, at the end of our session here. So I invite folks to use the Q&A function here on Zoom. And what I'll preface that with as well is please keep your questions more generalized and specific to the program as opposed to specific to your candidacy. I will show you at the end how you can reach out to us directly about your specific inquiries related to your application, your candidacy, your experience. But we want to keep our questions today really broad so we help out all of our folks that are in attendance and we get those questions answered for you. And again, we're going to do a really high-level overview of everything here to offer in the business analytics program. So a lot of those questions you might get answered through our officers that are joining us today. And here are our representatives displayed on the screen. So we get to hear from folks in our Benet Career Management Center, our Ainslie Office of Student Engagement. Our faculty director, Liza Moore, is here on the call with us as well, and a current student. So you're going to get to hear from Derek, who's in the MSBA program itself, and give you kind of the student side of things, which should be really fruitful for you to hear as you're, exploring your application and hopefully joining Simon next year. I'm going to start by turning it over to our faculty director for the MSBA program, Liza Moore, who's going to go over the curriculum for the MSBA program.
Sure. Thanks, Mike. And I'm really happy to be here to talk about our MSBA program. I'll give you a real quick introduction of myself. I'm the faculty director for the MSBA. I also get to teach a couple of the courses in the program, which I really enjoy. I get to teach analytics design and prescriptive analytics in Python. I also work on the capstone project, so I get to know the students pretty well, and that's my favorite part of the job. I've been teaching at Simon for, I think this is my 8th year. Previously, I taught finance at State University of New York in Buffalo for a couple years. And before that, I worked in manufacturing at a metals manufacturer in Buffalo, New York, in a couple different positions. I started my career in software development, database management in our inventory and production tracking department. And I did some business development work for a while. It got me traveling around the world with our applications engineers and our salespeople, which was really fun. And I ended my career as the director of business and information systems. And we were really working at that time to bring our IT and our data into a strategic position. We trying to take the data that we use to run the business every day and use it to develop competitive advantage and inform our strategy. And I enjoyed that. It was a challenge. It was very fulfilling. And it also gave me really good perspective on how much value I know my students as future analytics professionals are going to bring to the companies that they go out and work for across all kinds of industries. So it absolutely informs my thinking in the classroom. On the next couple slides, so I have this slide, it's an exciting time to embark on a career in business analytics. And I mean this with all the enthusiasm behind that exclamation point. It really is exciting. Things are changing. Businesses are excited about all the things that our analytics can do for them. And so it's exciting for me as a instructor. This slide is a couple years old that McKinsey developed, just showing data here at the center of what they are calling 6 disruptive models, that change the nature of competition. And I think just really noticing, again, data is at the heart of what we do in analytics. And we're finding, and companies are developing all kinds of different ways all the time to leverage their data in ways that create value from machine learning, artificial intelligence, and still the foundations of good data work. We find in all kinds of areas. And the next slide I stole from this blog post article talking about flourishing and fading careers, and I just picked 2 of them from the flourishing list. The first one, obviously, analytics professionals. I think I liked the quote that says, everyone and their mom wants an analytics person. This bodes well for all of us. And I hear this from the companies we work with when we go on tours, the companies we work with as sponsors for our capstone projects and our vision consulting projects. We see that analytics has moved out of just being a department of analysts, and now every department has an analyst in it. And that is fun to talk to companies to hear what they're doing and who they're looking for as they're recruiting. And the bottom one, the linchpin, is something that I think ties really well to our program at Simon, where it says that, you might not see in the job posting sort of linchpin, but this is what companies are looking for. They want someone who can bring everything together, managing products, processes, technologies, communicating with all areas of the business. We want technical skills, but also business skills and communication skills. And that's something that our program is really designed to allow you to develop while you're here. So the curriculum, bridging to that, designed to provide you with a strong foundation, both analytics and business. We have courses in both areas, but we also have courses that combine them, and a lot of the work crosses courses to bring business skills into our more technical classes and to also bring our technical skills into the more substantive business classes. We have the foundations. You need a strong foundation. So we teach programming for analytics, statistics, all those good skills, as well as the cutting edge skills that people want to put on their resume, talk about in interviews, and use on the job. So machine learning, advanced predictive, artificial intelligence, text analytics is all included in some of our core courses, also in our electives. We have real world cases in a lot of the courses, and then you end with a capstone project. We're a STEM designated program, obviously, so with all the benefits for international students that brings. Highlights, I just kind of sorted our courses into, and then I give you a little bit of a sense of the programming languages that you will use along the way. So our fundamentals, we start out with course in programming for analytics in Python, as well as stats, which uses Python. We have a course in the spring, data management, which teaches SQL and Tableau. Causal and predictive gives you some exposure to R, so that you can include that on your resume. We have prescriptive analytics in Python, which I get to teach. And then some of our text analytics, Python is a core course. Big data is an elective that you may choose to take. You'll also take economics and marketing. We have a course in analytics design and application, which focuses on how to take all of these skills and how to scope them to a given business context, and then also how to communicate the results to the business when you're done. We have a list of electives ranging from operations, finance, supply chain, pricing, and AI. And then you'll take MGC, which is our business communication curriculum, working on presentation skills, communicating analytics, working in teams. And then we have the capstone project at the end, which is a consulting style course where you work with an industry client to do a project that they scope and specify for us, and then we present the results at the end of the semester. I just would like to draw your attention, as I said, companies really want the whole package. So we teach technical skills in our program. It's designed to give you lots of exposure to the technical skills and lots of chances to practice them. Machine learning, programming, data wrangling, data visualization, as well as the business skills. You need to know what your business is doing. You need to know sort of general business principles, strategic decision, or just strategic thinking and decision making, communication. All of this is part of being effective and compelling in business. And I invite you to bring yourself too, your curiosity, your enthusiasm, your creativity, all your skills around time management, adaptability. It makes you the whole package when you go out on the job market. I often get questions about the capstone, so I've included a slide about it. Our course, CIS 465, is our capstone project for the Business Analytics program. It's the last course that you take. It's either in the spring if you're on the non-internship track, or it's in the fall after your internship if you're on the internship track. It's 14 weeks across 2 mini semesters, and I described it as a consulting style engagement. Every year we have different partners. We work to source projects over the summer. We talk to different local businesses and also businesses all over the country about what problems that they have that they'd love to see a group of eager business analytics students work on. And we put them together into projects. At the beginning of the course, you form a team of 4 or 5 students, and then you bid on projects and are assigned one. And that becomes the project that you work on for the next 14 weeks. It's a really great opportunity to bring all of the work that you've done in your year-long program to bear on a real-world project for an actual client. You get exposure to the executive that's sponsoring the project, and you get to practice, again, your technical skills, but also your communication skills. And I enjoy working on them very much. We get interesting projects. The students come up with interesting solutions. The executives are always very enthusiastic to see what the newest techniques are. And it's been a lot of fun for me over the years. Again, it's different every year, which I really enjoy. We've worked across all kinds of different industries. We've worked with healthcare. We've worked with the City of Rochester Mayor's Office, Strategic Department. We've worked with manufacturing. We've worked with retail auto sales. I'm just thinking, all kinds of different companies and all kinds of different areas within the company. We work with finance, supply chain, operations, sales, human resources. So we try to get together a nice array of projects for you to choose from, and give you a chance to do this as the final piece of your analytics degree. I have the grids here. You can find them on our website. This is just sort of the visual graphic organizer way that we show our curriculum. It shows the courses I just mentioned and the order in which you take them. You can always check the website for the latest. We make curricular changes year to year sometimes in order to continue evolving and optimizing our program. But this is what you'll see if you look at on the Simon Registrar's page for how the courses are laid out. So this is the non-internship track spanning fall and spring. And then on the next slide is the internship track, which leaves the capstone project to the final class and includes then the chance for an internship over the summer. And I think that, and I had one more slide, which is we now also offer Advanced Certificate of Achievement. There's 2 that you can earn that depending on the electives that you take. So this appears as on your transcript as Advanced Certificate of Achievement in AI or Advanced Certificate of Achievement in Pricing. And I think you get an actual physical certificate as well as a digital one that you can put on LinkedIn and things like that. So you can see the courses that you'll take. These are elective choices that you have. You don't have to earn an advanced certificate, but if you know that you're interested in one of these areas, this is a nice way to add another credential to your transcript. And that was my last slide. So I'm really happy to take questions at the end of the webinar. I'm also happy to have you reach out and contact me anytime. You can find me easily on the Simon faculty directory. Send me an email. I'm happy to answer, or hop on Zoom for a quick conversation if there are things you think of that you'd like to know more about our program. And I look forward to seeing you in Rochester.
Thank you so much, Liza, for sharing uh, all of the great information about our curriculum and projects. I know you get the question here in admissions about the capstone project a ton because it is a really exciting experience to get you that hands-on experience. So really thank you for touching on that point as well. And I would love to turn it over now to our folks in the Ainslie Office Student of Engagement to talk about all that they have to offer.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, everybody. My name is Dana Schumacher. I am the academic advisor for the analytics programs here at Simon, and I work within the Ainslie Office of Student Engagement, which includes advising student life and experiential learning. Overall, we are here to make sure you succeed, but also make sure you have fun and are able to celebrate throughout your time here at Simon. So within advising, students will come to me for a one-to-one appointment, very individual and specialized support. So if you are needing help when it comes time to choose your elective courses, we can go over your options. Any other academic support, like if you're needing help with the best ways for you to study. We also have tutoring services and peer advisors that you can talk to who are current students as well. And we're also here for personal support. So as you adjust to being a graduate student, if you're new to Rochester, if you're new to the US, we are here to help you kind of adjust and settle in. You will be working in teams through your coursework as well. So we'll offer some team check-ins and team building activities for your teams of 4 or 5 students. And then if needed, we'll also help you mediate any issues that come up in your team. Our student life team is here to look after all of the clubs and social events. So they start you off with orientation before your coursework begins. So throughout the orientation program, you'll get both an academic and policy overview for what you'll be studying here at Simon. There will be some team building activities there. You'll start to meet some of your faculty, so Liza and other professors as well. And then there will also be networking opportunities, so both within your cohort and the other programs as well. We also have many clubs that you can join here. So there's professional clubs, so anything like data analytics or consulting club. There's a pricing club, anything kind of career-wise you're looking to go into, there will be a club for that. There's some EDI clubs as well. So, for example, there's a Women in Business Club or a Pride Alliance. And then there's some social and sports clubs as well. So there's an outdoor adventure club or a gaming club. Um, they'll also offer you some networking events, so both to connect students with some alumni and then some social events. So we do want to make sure that you have fun here as well. For example, this week there was a culture karaoke night where students were able to go and sing the most famous karaoke songs from their home countries and introduce their students to those.
Thank you so much, Dana, for sharing all of good overview of what the Office of Student Engagement has to offer. I know, uh, obviously, uh, you're here to study, you're here to, for career readiness, which we're about to talk about, but, making the most of your Simon experience really starts with connecting with the Office of Student Engagement from orientation. So appreciate you sharing all of that with us, Dana. And I would love to turn it over now to our folks in the Benet Career Management Center to talk about, all of the services they provide to help you, do your career exploration and ultimately secure a job post-Simon.
Thank you so much, Matt. This is Libby Bakken, and along with Katie, my colleague, who you will meet in a few minutes, we are delighted to be here to talk to you about the Benet Center and how we work with you. The word we want you to remember from this webinar is partnership. We partner with you to help you succeed in your career goals and your job search. To do this, we offer a very rich variety of resources, information, and support. I want to go through and review some of these now, and then I'm going to ask, we are joined today by a current student, Derek, and I'm going to ask Derek to talk a little bit about his experience so far. Let's review all the different ways we work with you. Actually, Matt, could you go back to the first slide? There. Yeah. I got a couple of things to say here, and then we'll move on. So our work with you starts before you get to Simon. We have an onboarding program that is really designed to allow you, as we say in the United States, to hit the ground running when you get to Simon. You are going to have a wonderful, busy, intense, rewarding time with us. But in order for the career management aspects of your time here to go as well as they can, we begin with you before you get here. Once you are here, we have a foundation program, the Career Education Series. We want to make sure everybody starts career exploration and search in the United States on an even keel, an even setting. And so this is our foundational program that's a required program. We also offer a variety of alumni spotlights and events, which can be very rewarding for students to hear recent alums talk about their careers and how they spend their time, and then more seasoned alumni to talk about career strategy and advancement is a wonderful learning experience. Throughout your time with us, you will have access to workshops and webinars, and this is another supplement to the information that we provide on career coaching and success, tips for success. We also have a variety of conversations with companies. In addition to knowing about your own career goals, you have to understand the marketplace and what are the areas of skill sets in the market and where are the companies interested in the analytics. As Liza said, the exciting thing about analytics is it's such a pervasive part of all companies now. But still, where are the hot areas? Where are the opportunities that most fit you? We also offer the one-on-one counseling, which can make such a difference in terms of helping you really determine your career goals. And also, we can give individual coaching in terms of development areas you may have as you pursue those goals. At this point, Derek, I'm hoping to see if you can join us and talk a little bit about your experience working with the Benet Center so far.
Of course. Hi, everybody. I'm a current student here. As everyone said, my name is Derek. And the Benet Career Management Center is probably one of the greatest assets that Simon has to offer. Already a month before my arrival in Simon, they already had me working on my materials and my resume and everything that had to do with your career path. Then when you get here, you realize that your work with the Benet Center immediately begins at orientation. They have so many lectures, networking, and so many things that are tailored to finding your career strategy helping you choose a job, which was one of my issues. I didn't know exactly which career path I wanted to go. And personally, I've been meeting with my counselor at least once or twice a month, starting off from scratch, like working on your materials and choosing a career path that I wanted to take and seeing what strategies I needed to understand to further a potential career in the future. The Career Center's connection to alumni and industry professionals has also helped me land different coffee chats and make connections with people that are tied to top companies. And I'll give you guys an example. Actually, today we are leaving for the NYC Trek, which is a Benet Center planned event that takes us from Rochester to New York City to meet with alumni that were a part of Simon and now work for some of the best companies out there. So I urge you, as you become a student in Simon Business School, to really take as much advantage as you can from the Benet Career Management Center, because it will definitely help you for your career for the rest of your life.
Oh, thank you so much, Derek. It's wonderful to hear how broad how broadly you're taking advantage of the different aspects of how to work with the Benet Center. Matt, we can go on to the next slide now. Thank you. I do want to pause and share for a minute where all our resources fit in. We have an advising and a career development model that we use. As you can see, a lot of the different areas, starting with exploring and assessing fit, through actual being a candidate, looking for work, to actually getting hired and thinking about your future. We are with you every step of the way in terms of information, resources, and support. So we just wanted to make sure that you saw how all our different offerings fit in with our underlying model. That being said, I also want to encourage you to remember that in the United States, while we can partner with you and we can help you, your career exploration and job search, it's really up to you what you want and how you work for it. Companies in the United States hire individuals more than they hire schools or career advisors. So that is something just to keep in mind for you as you begin your professional career goals and search. All right, Katie, I think we're going to turn this over in a new slide to you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Libby. Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Mulhern, and I am the new Executive Director to the Benet Career Management Center. But I am still coaching and working alongside Libby with our business analytics candidates. So very nice to meet you. I hope to see you in person on our great campus in the fall of 2025. One of the things that we often get a lot of questions on is, right, our students work so hard throughout the year. They come with various different levels of experience. Some have zero work experience or coming right from an undergrad program. Some have been out in the workforce maybe for a little bit of time with an internship or two, or maybe they've done some full-time positions as well and are looking to use this program to make a switch or a pivot in their overall career journey. So really excited about where our program has kind of evolved to with our alumni community over the past few years. I've been at Simon for just over 3, so I've worked with 3 different cohorts and very exciting to see. Just to give you a snapshot of our recent employment outcomes. So this is for our class of 2023, which really reflects graduation dates that occurred between July of 2022 and June of 2023. So based on our collection window, we're still in the process of hunting down our most recent grads to be able to publish our new report. But just to give you an idea of where we've kind of held strong over the last several years, we've had and seen some really great success in industry, specifically like financial services, consulting, or tech. However, a lot of our students end up in different industries. And I think that's the beauty of what Liza shared with all of us as well. Analytics is booming. Everybody wants analytics professionals. So we certainly have a number of different students that end up in healthcare, retail, manufacturing, supply chain and logistics, right? It's really up to you to kind of refine what your overall interests are, where you see might be the best first starting point. And then we can support you with all of those pieces that Libby kind of talked through, as well as Derek, networking connections, materials, interview prep. So it's a really exciting time to be a part of a program that's so diverse and broad within the marketplace. A couple things to highlight. We've had some great success with some wonderful brand name firms that you might see here. Companies like Amazon, Deloitte, EY, Wayfair as well. So again, our list of companies and where our alums from this program go evolve over time. And it's really exciting to see the amount of new companies year over year that we get to engage with, that we get to learn about and see how analytics is really powering the work that they're doing. So very exciting. We do consistently see a pretty good increase in terms of mean base salary year over year. So again, I think for this class and what Libby and I are expecting, we can't, officially confirm on the record today, but we expect that mean base salary to remain about the same, maybe slightly above or slightly below, depending on just the market conditions and things that are happening here within the U.S. culture. But really exciting for us to be able to work with so many diverse candidates from a variety of different backgrounds, work with them on what their goals are, see all of the stages of their prep, and then support them in what their successful outcome looks like and celebrate. So we have a really strong alumni community that loves to engage, give back, and in those things like coffee chats or webinars that we do throughout the year that both Libby and Derek mentioned.
Thank you so much, Libby and Katie. I know it is so important, and our students really benefit from that early connection to that you mentioned about, kind of pre-orientation, career prep, and obviously, as Derek indicated, how fruitful, some of the webinars and career exploration opportunities have been and are going to be for him as a Simon student. So I'm glad we have touched upon all of those great details about our program and your office. So thank you again. I'd like to kind of wrap up the presentation component of things with application deadlines and details for our folks on the call, and then we will get to questions and answers. First and foremost, and I know I saw a couple questions in the Q&A chat, if you're listening to this webinar live, application fee waiver will be applied to your account in about 1 to 2 business days. So as you're going through your application, typically speaking, at the end of the application is when you would pay the application fee, but you would bypass that payment screen. Simple as that, if you are on this webinar. So that application fee waiver will be applied to your account. I want to go through very, very quickly this application deadline grid. Why it is extremely important to pay attention to this grid, not only as you're applying to Simon, but as you are maybe applying to other schools, is every school kind of has different application deadlines. So as you're making an informed decision about when to apply, when to expect a decision, when to commit to the school, it's really important to have this grid in your mind, these deadline dates in mind. So we are approaching our very first application deadline on October 15th. So if you apply in this first round, you will receive a decision no later than December 15th. That's our promise to you from the admissions committee. After that point, our second round deadline, applications that come in anytime between October 16th and January 5th, you would get your decision no later than March 31st. What that means for any of these deadlines, you could receive a decision earlier than that deadline date, but you would be owed a decision no later than that end date. So again, keep those in mind as you're submitting your application, as you're inquiring with the admissions committee about when you can expect a decision. This is what we'll give you for an answer, is make sure you're checking this deadline. That'll be in your admissions student portal. After you apply, you'll see your deadline date right in there. In addition, if you have, like I mentioned at the beginning, any personalized questions about your candidacy, about your application, we certainly encourage you to connect with us in the admissions office with your respective counselors, and you can do so right through that link, right through that QR code, going right on our landing page there on our website. We are always happy to answer your questions. Set up information meetings with you if you want to talk a little bit more extensively about your candidacy and get some face time with us in the admissions committee. We love having those conversations with you. So please reach out if you have any questions leading up to submitting your application. After you've submitted your application, our doors are always open. So please connect with us in the admissions committee. So now we will move on to our Q&A. I know we got a couple pre-submitted questions. I see a lot of questions in the chat as well. And I would love to start by going kind of back to a little bit of what Liza said and a little bit of what I've seen in the chat. We get a lot of applications from folks with non-traditional backgrounds. So that could be, in the arts and the humanities, in engineering. And I would love to hear first from maybe Liza. You talked a little bit about, programming knowledge and stuff like Python, R, all of that. So if you don't come from maybe that traditional background, or you don't have that prerequisites, so to speak, in terms of programming, how do you, navigate this process in the classroom? Can you speak a little bit about that?
Sure, and maybe Derek can add his perspective as well. What I always tell students is, every year some of our incoming students have experience with programming languages in Python, and some do not. We admit a lot of students who don't. One of your very first courses will be Programming for Analytics in Python, and that course does not require previous Python experience. We start you at the ground floor, and we will get you up and running on Python. If you wanted to do some prep before you came, we could offer some sort of self-learning resources, but they're not required. Our Professor Huang is really good at getting students started on Python, from installing to writing your first line of code. Our program moves fast. It's a rigorous program, but we really we bring in students from all kinds of background, and after a year, you will leave proficient in Python at the technical skills we teach, as well as you can bring all of your other things with you and combine them with the analytics that we're going to teach.
Thank you, Liza. And I know Derek, you kind of noted too what your background is in terms of that programming knowledge. Can you speak a little bit to that and how you
of course.
excelled? Yeah.
Of course, I'd love to. I came from a management background. I had no experience whatsoever in Python, and obviously it was kind of scary because you're coming into an analytics program. It's about coding. But like Professor Moore said, Professor Yufei's class, when you start off the pre-fall semester, really takes you as if you don't even have the program installed in your computer. And it's really created to guide you from those very first programming and coding steps and teach you the basics that you're going to need further down the line. And the way that our program here in Simon is built, it's a step-by-step program. So, for example, I had that Ufrain class, which taught me the basics. And now I take analytics design and application with Professor Moore, which builds on top of what already I had in the pre-fall semester. So it doesn't matter really if you're extremely advanced in coding and programming, or if you really have no idea what programming is, because the way the program is built, it's built in a way that it really tries to give everyone from any background the opportunity to be part of the analytical world.
Thank you so much, Derek. And I want to expand upon this just a little bit too, from our Career Center perspective. As you see students come in from these non-traditional backgrounds, how do you kind of help them navigate the career process, as well as see them place, as we saw here, very positively in a business analytics career?
Sure, Mike, I can take that. So in terms of developing students, right, I think it's about harnessing and channeling the things that you're learning in the classroom and really helping yourself to understand the connection to the industry, right? So in the classes, you're going to learn a lot about different case studies and challenge your thinking in probably some new ways that are new to you. But the goal of that is really, how do I take that knowledge and apply it to an industry that I have an aspiration on, and using that to have some really productive networking conversations or developing interview stories. So Libby, myself, and the rest of our office do a lot of work ongoing with our faculty members to understand some of the cases and the projects, and really about how do we make it easy and simple for you. At the end of the day, as Libby mentioned, the role of you as a student and a candidate, it does fall on you to have that personal accountability, but we are going to be that support system to help guide you. And really our mantra when we think about the Benet Center here is to give you those skills, give you those learning opportunities so that you have it for a lifelong journey. It's not something that we're just going to give you, in sake of, here's your first role out of Simon and this is how you got there. We want you to feel successful and empowered to apply all of those different elements and see the building blocks for the next 5-10 roles that you might have throughout your career. But Libby, anything to add there too?
Well, just a couple of points that, thank you so much, Katie. Because of the broad application of analytics across all different kinds of companies and organizations, there's an analytics role and career for everyone. Depending on your work values, your interests, your key skills, we begin onboarding with a personal assessment of all those things. What are your work values? What are some of your foundational interests? And some specific skills you bring to the program. Every one of you has transferable skills for analytics careers, even if you haven't had much of your analytics training yet. And as Katie says, we help you shape that into a path forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, both Katie and Libby, for giving more insight on that. I am seeing some questions about the internship track, so I want to go back to our slides from Liza, kind of giving the broad overview of not only the curriculum, but where the internship track lies in the foundation of the course. I'll start by saying, one, you select that prior to joining Simon. So you'll get prompts from us in admissions to select your internship or non-internship track, shortly thereafter paying your enrollment deposit. That commitment of securing an internship will happen in correlation with the Career Center, and I can have them touch upon, how they guide you through that, the timelines that you're on shortly in securing an internship. But that internship is going to take place in the summer of 2025. So after you've completed your coursework in May, the expectation is that you are on an internship in that summer of 2025. And then in the fall of 2025, you would complete that business analytics capstone project. And that can be done remotely or in person. You would have to come back at least for the final presentation in December of 2026. And so I want to start with the Career Center to talk about, how they support you in finding the right internship for you and the resources they have, and then how that kind of leads into broader career exploration after that.
Well, I can kick us off. This is Libby again. when you begin your time with us at Simon, the career education series is a foundation for thinking about first exploration. Where are you going? You can't apply for internships fruitfully if you don't know what kinds of roles you're targeting and what kinds of skills you're offering that are unique to you as a candidate. The good news for MS Analytics students is the internship season for applying for internships is very broad. This can be confusing for some students because as opposed to the MBA internship track, which is very focused on early fall. So we have a long time frame in terms of internships that they start to be advertised early fall, but all the way through to late spring. And so students have a lot of opportunity to work with us individually and to sharpen their search skills with different kinds of workshops. And that also highlight how you look for jobs, how you use networking, how you build target lists, which is something that's very dear to our hearts, so that you're just not sort of flailing at applying for jobs. We want you to have a strategy. We want you to have target companies, and that can make your internship search much more rewarding. Katie, what else do you want to add?
Sure. So I know we usually talk about this in a later webinar that's really devoted to internship track versus non, but I'll offer some teasers this morning. The decision is really up to you in terms of what you want to kind of think about and what is really the option. Even if you're on internship track, an internship is not required for you to fulfill graduation requirements. So sometimes our students might use that to obtain a certification or take a exam for a professional credential that they've been studying for. They might do an internship or a project experience. They might use that summer to travel and unplug, or even potentially start a full-time role early on. So internship track really extends the life of your program and kind of builds on the courses that you see here over a longer duration, but an internship is not required for you to graduate. One of the things that we do see is a lot of our international students will opt for this, especially if it is their first time in the US, and they want to be able to immerse themselves into new strategies for job search that are new to them. So again, the decision is yours. We're going to share more about what sort of things might you want to consider as time goes on. I don't want to necessarily go down that path this morning for us.
Thank you so much, Katie. And I think, as mentioned, we'll have webinars about the internship versus non-internship track later on in our semester. So definitely encourage you to keep up with our webinar offerings so you can learn more in depth about the benefits of the internship track versus non-internship track, and all the processes that go into that. I want to talk a little bit more to Derek as a current student. I know we mentioned clubs and organizations earlier as Dana was speaking to what the Ainslie Office of Student Engagement has to offer, but Derek, as a current student, I know you were very eager to join some clubs and organizations. I'd love to know which ones, and how those are beneficial to your student experience and professional experience here at Simon.
Of course. Well, there's, like, as it was mentioned by OSE office earlier, there's a very vast offering of clubs for professional and social. Personally, as a professional club, I chose Simon Vision Consulting, which gives me the opportunity to lead a team of consultants as a project manager to work with a real life client. And it has just given me invaluable skills, sharpened my leadership and my client interaction skills. And currently we're working for a very big client this semester. And that's just a great opportunity. You also have the venture the Venture Club, which also is a professional club. In addition to that one, I'm also in the Masters Advisory Council, which, as Vice President of Events for Simon Business School, allows me to contribute to the Simon community, which again adds to experience in leadership and strategic event planning, which is crucial for anyone in the business world. As far as social clubs go, personally, I'm part of the Simon Uncorked Club, which is a club that's focused on improving your networking and social skills in environments where business deals often happen, which is over a glass of wine or in a dinner. And as there's also for the social clubs, you have your outdoor adventure club, which I am also a part of, which is amazing just to be able to connect with your classmates and with the community and to explore Rochester really helps a lot. And with the EDI clubs, there's one for I think every background of student. I am with Lazos, which is the Latino community club, which is a wonderful space to build community and foster connections with people who share similar experiences. And more on that, it's not just for example, mine is not just for Latinos. I actively participate in other culture clubs, which just brings me the opportunity to understand my classmates and to engage with different communities, which is just amazing. So I urge you when considering Steinman and applying to Steinman, look beyond the academic offer that they have, which is amazing, because all of these little things that they also offer will just add on to your experience and make you overall a better professional in the future.
Thank you so much, Derek. And I know you were super involved and again, very excited to be involved on campus. So I'm glad it's been a really exciting experience for you. I'm glad to see, you're involved in so many things that are going to benefit you both personally and professionally and really make your Simon experience, uh, you know, the best it can be. As you're here for really a short time, as we saw, you're really here about 10 months if you're on the non-internship track. If you're on the internship track, you're here just a little bit longer for an extra semester, potentially on campus, potentially not. So goes by very quickly, and definitely encourage folks to check out our clubs and organizations and offerings that we have, which I just did a podcast on. So a little shameless plug here. We have Simon Bizcast, and I recorded that just the other week. So it talks a little bit more broadly about all that we have to offer in terms of clubs and organizations. We just have a minute or two here left, and a lot of questions I see are very specific to specific candidacy. So again, I want to encourage folks to set up either information meetings or reach out specifically to us at admissions to get those questions answered. I will quick touch upon again fee waivers for the application will be applied to your account if you attended this webinar and registered with the email that you are applying with. So make sure that you did do that. But at the end of your application, that fee waiver should apply so you can skip the payment screen. Saw a lot of questions about so I'm kind of going to do a quick fire here that are a little bit broad in application questions. GREs, GMATs, those are not required for admission. I saw a number of questions about that. You can do that, but once you submit your application is submitted, so you cannot add anything onto it. So again, going back to those rounds of submissions here, our application deadlines, make sure you're kind of paying attention to those if you are planning on taking an assessment and submitting it with your application. As the admissions committee reviews all applications holistically, this speaks kind of to I see a lot of important questions about scholarships, about jobs. All of our scholarships are merit-based, so that is based on the entirety of the application that you submit. And that is the only scholarship that the admissions committee offers, and that would be upon admission, upon receiving an admissions offer. We will have more webinars and have webinars in our backlog about how to finance your Simon degree. Admissions counselors are happy to have those conversations with you. So again, pay attention to these deadlines, set up those meetings with us in the admissions committee. We also, another little shameless plug, a new plug for us on our website, we have a little chat bot. So a lot of these very quick questions you can type right to our Simon chatbot, and they will answer them very quickly for you if you're too scared to reach out to the admissions committee. But we hope that you do. We hope that you work with us very closely as you are visiting our program offerings and making the best decision, the application decision for you. Another thing I saw a couple times too, you can only apply to one program per academic cycle. So hopefully these webinars are really helpful in helping you make a good decision about what program is right for you. We have webinars this week and next week of our other program offerings. So if you're dead set on business analytics, awesome. We would like to keep the conversation going with you. If there's other programs that you're interested in, please attend those webinars and make sure that you're getting all that information before you apply to Simon. With that, we have reached the end of our time, though. Again, keep those questions coming to your admissions counselors. We're happy to continue the conversation. But for myself and our panelists, I'd love to, one, thank everybody who joined this call. Thank you, Dana, Derek, Liza, Katie, Libby. Cannot appreciate you all enough for spending the time and speaking with our prospective students. And thank you for those on the call for spending some time with us today. Wishing you the best of luck in your application. Again, please reach out if you have any questions. Thank you so much, everyone.